Y'all did it once, it's me again. I drop Los Angeles for all you haters. I'm back with this fearless, you know what I'm saying? You cats in LA, some of y'all half-stepping, thinking y'all doing it better than me. You wanna be? Bring it to the plate. You know what? Let's go.
We out on the show, we doing what we do. One side red and the other side blue. Niggas ain't tripping, we out having fun. When you living in the city that sets with the sun. We out on the show, we doing what we do. One side red and the other side blue. Niggas ain't tripping, we out having fun. When you living in the city that sets with the sun.
What's up, y'all? We here late night. I got my boy Big LA, Cool Daddy. So tonight we're gonna break down the headlines, but not from the usual angle. We're talking about the news that shook the country today, from the Charlie Kirk controversy to the tragic school shootings in Colorado. But let's pause for a moment and think about what these incidents mean for us, for Black communities, and for the way the world sees us. So every day we see stories that demand outrage, attention, and action. Stories where voices are elevated or dismissed based on who is speaking and who's paying counts on the narrative. Today is no different. As Black people, we understand the context matters. We know the weight of history, the impact of policies, and the sting of bias and media coverage. And tonight, as we dissect these events, we're not just talking facts, we're talking about perspective, lived experience, and what it really means when the world points its lens at us and others. So sit with me, sit with us, listen closely, and we're gonna unpack what happened today, day before, what may happen in the future, depending on what's going on, looking at what's going on, not just the surface, but the deeper truth, because understanding is the first step towards change, and every conversation counts. So me, Big LA, Cool Daddy, we here for the Black Breakdown. What's up, fellas?
I'm cool, and I gotta go grab my charger. Y'all,
what's going on, brother?
60 seconds, please.
Oh man, we here. Go ahead, Big LA, do your thing, man. Like I say, shit, we gon', ain't no sugarcoat, man. It's a lot of stuff that went on. Everybody, been, tied to the news. First and foremost, I want to say, a lot of stuff is being overlooked. We all know the Charlie Kirk situation. First, I want to, send condolences to all the families and lost anybody to gun violence. I'm never here to say unaliving somebody is the right way to go about anything. That's not for me to say that. Who am I to judge? But shout out to the people who are still in shock in Colorado for the high school shooting. The shooter was unalived. They're too critical, from the high school shooting. So we got to keep them in our prayers also. But yeah, man, I've seen a lot of stuff on social media. A lot of people, some are happy, some people are sad at the situation that happened today or happened with Mr. Kirk. Well, what's going on, Cool Daddy? What you think about that?
I'm not gonna glorify his death, and I'm not mourning him, to be honest with you. It is what it is. Why do I say that? He had no empathy for Black people. He celebrated George Floyd death. He celebrated Breonna Taylor death. And so I don't think I owe him any empathy or sympathy. His whole platform, how he got big as he is, because he was spewing anti-Black hate, anti-Black racism, but he did it in a way that wasn't too in your face almost. But if you paid attention to what he was saying, we were always his main target. When he got shot, they was asking about violence. He said, well, what about gang violence? Which is a euphemism for Black people, Black violence. They always talk about Chicago or something like that. So, and what's critical, the information is we ain't no Black people killed him. He was in Utah, one of the most non-Black states in America, one of the whitest states in America, and one of his own killed him. So like I said, I'm not celebrating his death, but I'm not mourning him either. That's all I got to say.
I understand where you're coming from. Looking at a lot of and reading a lot of the comments on social media and all over, man. Like I said, you have a lot of mixed emotions from a lot of different people. Some of the things that I found interesting on social media is that a lot of people from the Black community are showing that they're in mourning behind this incident, and a lot of people are going back and forth with some of these people. I've spoke to a few people I know personally who aren't, white, and a lot of them are, they're saddened by the situation. And and some people may think from like what you said, like a lot of the things that he said, his ideology towards things and stuff he said towards some people who are unalive from the Black community, it amazes some people that people who may be Black feel so saddened by this, the way he spoke about them. What you think about that, Big LA?
Who y'all talking about again? I came in when y'all was right in the middle of talking. Who y'all talking about?
Oh no, my bad. Just saying, just the amount of people, like I say, it's half and half on social media. You got people who are mourning the loss of Charlie Kirk, and you have some people who really, they're openly saying that they have no empathy or nothing for it, but people have their own reasons for that. But my thing is, some people say, why are a lot of people in the Black community so saddened by it, the way he spoke about people from the Black community, like George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, them, like, so what do you think?
Right. Okay. I look at it this way. I have as much empathy for him as he had for my people. And that wasn't much. So nah, it's always sad when somebody died, right? At the same time, he was against a lot of things, bro, including a bad percentage of my people. So, am I gonna lose sleep? Nope. Not one crumb. Not one bit. Not at all. Do I feel like street justice was the way? Probably not. I watched the video. That shit diabolical.
What is that? Now, not to cut you off, I just want to add this to what you said. Now, would you consider that street justice, or like the governor of Utah, he quickly got on there and said this was a political assassination?
Yeah, I think it was a political hit. That was a professional hit.
It's the justice. It was the type of street justice that Big Brother Milo been telling us to prepare for a long, long, long time. They don't like what you do, they come touch you. Simple and plain. They don't give a fuck where you at, who you in front of. They touch you and they get on. That wasn't no, oh, I'm standing right in front of you and I hit you. Fuck no. The way the angle of that blood squirted out of it, yeah, okay. That was off top of a building somewhere, a couple 100 feet away. The person that did that knew exactly what they was doing, and they hit that boy where they knew he was going to bleed out before the fucking paramedics even hit the block that the function was on.
One shot, one kill.
Put his tools in the bag and go back home. What? Make it home for dinner. Make it home before dinner. What we talking about? And made a fat bag for that. And they got a fall guy that was in the crowd. I promise you, they got a fall guy that was in the crowd that took that fall. And where they're gonna put him, he's gonna be good for the rest of his day. They're gonna put him in a city with like 30,000 people, and all they do is function within their city, because half of them is motherfuckers that they put there.
Yeah, you're right, man.
Welcome to the conversation, Sir Charles. Hey, look, hey. People say a lot of the shit that's going on is wrong, right? A lot of y'all voted for what's going on right this minute. Because this ain't no old shit that's happening. This is right now, real time shit that's happening. A lot of people losing family members. A lot of people losing businesses. It's bad for a lot of people right now. There's a lot of court shit going on too. We talk about this shit all the time. People act like they don't hear it, don't want to pay attention. That's fine. Reality is in real time, and that shit happening right now. You ain't got to worry about what the bigger picture is with some of this shit. You know what the bigger picture is with some of this shit, and it's still gonna happen. I promise you, if he throws a check in your face today, 90% of y'all gonna turn a blind eye to what's really going on.
Now, hey, let me ask you this, Big LA. Something we were speaking about before we got on air. You said the officer, he was arrested. Before we got on air? What was that?
Oh yeah, I can't remember the lady's name, but it was the lady that was in her kitchen. She had a pot of water, and she told the officer, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." And he proceeded to walk this lady down in her own house, in her own kitchen. That ass got hit with them charges. And his fellow brothers in blue feel whatever happens to him need to happen to him.
Yeah.
Because it didn't make no sense for that lady to get walked down in her own home. But y'all ain't talking about that though. Y'all talking about boy from the mountains of Caucasus. That's what y'all talking about. Y'all ain't talking about certain anniversaries of our people who got walked down for no unmitigated fucking reason. But y'all talking about boy that caught them charges for some stupid shit. He knew he shouldn't have because he had a fucking marriage.
Yeah, well, I see it right here. It says, I think he's still in jail as of September 2025. His name is Sean Grayson, the former Sangamon County Sheriff Deputy charged with the July 2024 fatal shooting of Sonia Massey. That was her name. He's in jail without bond. He has been incarcerated since his arrest and is awaiting trial scheduled to begin on October 20 of 2025 in Peoria County. Said he faces multiple charges, including 3 counts of first degree, unaliving, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct. If convicted, he could face prison sentence ranging from 45 years to 30, from 45 years to life for the murder charge, 6 to 30 years for aggravated battery, and 2 to 5 years for misconduct. This is via Fox 32 News Chicago. Yeah,
So
but like I say,
this was not coming home.
Well, this is what he's facing. You know what I'm saying? So, we've seen a lot of things go. Don't be surprised. You know what I'm saying? If stuff don't go the way that you think it's going to go, because we have been fooled before.
Indeed.
So, the family filed a civil wrongful death lawsuit. They filed by Massey's family. It was settled in February of 2025. They filed a wrongful death, but they settled for $10 million. This is via Capital News, Illinois.
Ain't that crazy though? Ain't that crazy?
It is, man.
Once they die, you could put a price on their death.
That's basically. I mean, what you think about that, Cool Daddy?
What, the fact that he did it, or the fact that they got the money? What you talking about?
I mean, the fact that they were suing the department, then they settled for 10 million. Like, do you settle for that price, or do you hit them to make a statement like, y'all, it's really no money worth that. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. It's really no money worth it. Obviously they had a lawyer that coerced them to settle. He might have sold them. This is the most we gonna get. I don't know what he sold them, but that's why most people settle to go on and
Yeah.
get the for sure win with the money, because that's a civil suit. Instead of going through the process and a jury might not give you nothing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. And that's true, man. Just like some of the stuff that like even the guy that Officer Grayson, or I ain't gonna even say officer because he's a damn convict now. So that Thug Grayson, you know what I'm
All
saying?
that.
Like, he shouldn't even been an officer. And I agree with you. I agree with you, Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles said he shouldn't have. He should have been in jail, and he had a past record and shouldn't have been a cop or copper.
Yeah,
Word.
because they
You
put the
should.
uniform on, that doesn't change the person they are. It doesn't change their views when they put the uniform on. In fact, it kind of reinforced their views because now they are the law. They are the
Right.
ones who can
Yeah.
enforce the law. And they're going to get leniency in court, leniency when they harass and abuse people. And so a lot of them take advantage of that. They become race soldiers, instead of policemen.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that, man. And it's just amazing because you know what I'm saying? It's still some people who say, how do I say it? You got some people that's woke, but they didn't went back to sleep. You know what I'm saying?
All
So
that.
you,
All
you you
that.
still got a lot of people out there, right? Like real shit. They yeah, you was woke, but went back to sleep. Where all the people at that was during the movement, y'all was out and live in effect when they was dropping people, you know what I'm saying? But it's not a temporary thing, say it's like health, you know what I'm saying? That's a part of your life now. That's something that ain't gonna just be around for a year or two. It's something you're gonna have to add to your life the rest of your life. Same thing
I
with the
agree.
movement. You know what I mean? You
You
can't
learn,
just
you
do it.
learn till you die, and we have to fight until we die. In whatever type of ways, through the judicial system, law, society. You have to. You born you born on the team. We born on Team Black, and this is just our lot in life. There are some, even though they're born on Team Black, and they know that life may be difficult for us to achieve certain things, they look for the first opportunity to take the exit. You know, the first chance they get to act their way out of blackness in their mind, which they can never do, they take it. And so
Right.
that's what you're seeing.
Or
Yeah,
tell their ass put some money on the table. They give it
yeah,
up
you're
quick.
right. Yeah. Hey, and that's real. And you know what's so crazy, man? Something I mentioned to Cool Daddy earlier, just for some news people here in LA, for some of the youth that's looking for a new career change, some people, and I specifically say this for a lot of the guys and ladies in LA who may be security guards that have guns and stuff. If you already have a guard card and you already um have a guard card and you have an exposed firearm license, you might as well go be a police officer. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, some people, I don't know how you feel about police officers, but I'm just saying. And if you're in LA, I say that because, like I told Cool Daddy earlier, Mayor Karen Bass has signed an executive order to shorten the process of becoming a police officer due to needs and public safety, which she's allowed to do. So what that means is somebody who's a security guard or something like that, you can go apply if you ain't got no record. Now, some security guards do have, maybe a little something on their records, but if you one of those who don't, go down there, man. Go spend Go spend that 2-3 months, maybe 4 in that academy and become a cop. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got to retire from it, you know, do a year or two, take your experience and go somewhere else. You might move to another state. You got that experience, you can laterally transfer. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. And a lot of parents may say, I don't want my child being no police officer, this or being no kind of law enforcement. All right, so would you rather he or she work at a Foot Locker or work at a grocery store, or you know, work for the city doing something out there with the crazy public and taking a chance at their life where they really can't defend themselves?
I agree. I
You got to
think we
look
should
at
work in
everything
all
from all
fields.
angles, not just one angle. So
Yeah, I think we should work in
all fields.
all fields, all occupations. If we can flood them, flood them. You understand? Get whatever this life got for you. You know, still keep your moral code. If you ain't no killer, don't become a killer. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't a criminal, don't become a criminal on the job, because you may see what other folks do. Keep your nose clean, and you can have any profession.
Yeah.
All professions are honorable. You know, if you go into it with honor and keep your honor, that's what I say.
You're right. You're right. You're 100% right, man. And all fields, man, like I say, because some people, they put themselves in a box, you know what I mean? And I used to hate seeing this, man. When I came out of high school, we were looking for jobs, even though it was in college. You know, my moms and pops was like, man, you don't need to get no job, because you know, this ain't gonna get used to making money. You ain't gonna want to go to school. But you know, still the right mind frame to have, you know, was looking to, you know, looking for to make some money. And some people don't want to learn nothing. I've seen so many people come right out of high school and go right to the GR building. You know what I'm saying? Because they see other people do that. And now I'm reading this comment. Mr. Charles said, don't forget about illegals. What do you mean about, like?
While he answered that question, I want to comment on what P just said. You got motherfuckers walking.
Well, I don't know.
You got motherfuckers walking in the county building with motherfucking J's on, chains and shit. Talking about, I need some government assistance.
Yeah.
Anybody that know the LA system, they know what I'm talking about. I ain't gonna put it out there here, but motherfuckers, boy, listen. Motherfuckers pull up in a BMW talking about, I need some food stamps. How you get here? Oh, that's my neighbor car.
Yeah. Hey, they had a video. They had a video the other day somewhere here in California where I think the DPSS building, they closed it down early. People was in line because I guess the EBT cards wasn't working, so they had to go to the DPSS building. And a lot of them were they had video of it, and I looked at the video and I was like, damn, man, they saying, look at people mad, you know, trying to get, you know, money and stuff like that, which I know some of them needed, but everybody who was in line, they had somebody with like a $200 Dodgers jersey on. You had people with J's on. I said, wait a minute. They said the DPSS building. I thought this was like a store, like, because the way it looked in front, I thought people was waiting out front to go into a store or something. I said, you mean to tell me, man? I was like, wow, man. Some people, you got to snap out of that mind frame. Some people been so used to handouts. You got some motherfuckers that's been living off fucking government for 40 years. And you know what I'm saying? It ain't knocking nobody. You know what I'm saying? If you have to, you have to. Some people not able. I understand. They have disabilities. Some people have that. But I'm talking about that average Joe who we know can get up and probably go at 40 or 50 years old, run a mile in 2 minutes, but decide to just be lazy. You know, that type of person. Like, y'all need to get off your ass.
They giving you food, because they're giving you food stamps and a little bit of cash assistance, and they'll run with that shit until they run out. And then
well,
get mad.
a lot of this stuff is finna be cut off, man. Like, a lot of people need to pay attention. Like I said, yeah, like, don't let and you know what? Let me see. Mr. Charles commented back when I asked the question. He said, "Don't let this detour the media from the illegal alien crisis." And you know what? I mean, I understand when you're talking about the media, and it's crazy he said that, because what I was about to say is the incidents that are going on now. Yes, a lot of people pay attention to the current incident that is constantly on the media right now, but you have to pay attention to still what's going to affect you long term. You know what I'm saying? And what's been affecting you. You know what I'm saying?
This that work is going to continue regardless. In fact, they're amping that work up. The Supreme Court just gave them the green light to do what they have to do in LA.
Speak on that.
Yeah, the Supreme LA filed in the courts, and they got a federal judge to agree with them. They said that they were racially profiling illegals at Home Depot and other areas where they were running up on them. And so the judge sided with LA and made ICE stop for a few weeks. Well, the case went up through the system, and when it got to the Supreme Court, they said, well, we're going to let the case continue through the system, but we're going to let ICE go back to doing their work while the case is matriculating through the system. So the roving patrols and snatching the illegals up wherever they want to, basically, is back in effect. They found that it was basically a frivolous case that LA was bringing. And if the case is heard by the Supreme Court, this is an indication that LA is going to lose, because people keep forgetting about the supremacy clause. The supremacy clause in the Constitution states that federal law, United States law, supersedes or is above all other laws, whether it's state law, county law, or local municipality law. If any one of those laws clash with the United States / federal law, those laws lose. So that really was just a delaying tactic, because they were going to lose anyway.
So basically that was their way of losing a lawsuit and filing an appeal just to prolong it, because they know they was going to lose anyway.
Exactly. They were really just buying time and throwing a Hail Mary, hoping that once the case hit the Supreme Court that they will side with them, but they wouldn't, you know. But they got that local federal judge in LA to stop ICE for a few weeks. So they bought themselves a few weeks of time. But that's it. It's back in full force. So with these other news on other current events on the news right now, maybe not be focusing on illegal immigration, but they're actually ramping up and amping up their attacks on illegal immigrants. Another thing they're doing, they're fining illegal immigrants $500 a day for being here, because many of them, over 1 million, they've been given final order to leave the United States, deportation orders, but they in the past 30, 40 years, you could just ignore it and keep living here because nobody was going to come look for you. Now they're going retroactively and applying $500 a day from your deportation order. One lady, one illegal immigrant, they showed on the news, she got a bill for over $1 million. What are they going to do with that? We know they can't pay it. They use that to put a lien on their bank accounts. They use that to put a lien on their house. So they're going to bankrupt them. Well, you can't make no money here and you owe a lot of money. You have to leave. You understand? So they're going to increase self-deportations by cutting off all their money.
So so some people may, you know, because a lot of people may, they don't get the gist of it. You know what I'm saying? They may say, like, how do I say it? They may think like maybe it's a game. You know what I'm saying? They may think it's a game. But what Mr. Charles say? Why are they helping people out who aren't supposed to be here? What do you say? Why are they helping people out who aren't supposed to be here but leave the taxpayers out? That's a good question. That's a good question, Mr. Charles. Why are they helping people? I'm assuming that he's talking about California.
Yeah, that was a political strategy. Um, we are the Democrats, the liberals' main base. They can rely on our vote, but we talk shit. When you treat us wrong, we're gonna talk shit. We become a nuisance to them. You know, back in
Yeah.
the day, you called it the white man's burden. So this was a way for them to circumvent us, pull in illegals, give them services, get them used to living off the taxpayer dime, and in return, all you have to do is vote Democrat. So they were
Yeah.
creating a new a new constituency, a new political base. That's why the face of LA has changed since the 90s. You've seen you raised there. I went to school, people that got family there. That's why all the illegals flooded in because they get educated for free, they get Section 8 housing, they get food stamps, and the husband will go work. So they balling. You understand me? So now they at a federal level, they cutting all that out because the Democrats were trying to guarantee that they stay in power. How you stay in power? They're going to stay in power on the backs of illegals, allowing them to vote and be pseudo citizens until they can get an amnesty bill through and make them full citizens. That's why they prioritize them.
Yeah, you're right. And you know what? Some videos that I seen, I think it's a clip that you sent me on YouTube, man, and it's so crazy. I listened to it because that is true, especially a young lady. She grew up in South LA. And you know what? I'm glad I mentioned that because I do want to say this too. I ain't gonna say South LA, but she grew up in Los Angeles. But I tell a lot of people too, LA is big. Big LA know that. LA is big as a you know what. You know what I'm saying? So you know,
Big
like
as hell,
dudes
big
like
as
me,
hell, little at the
as
same
hell
time for no reason.
at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And it's little because you got so many people in this big city. You know that it's a big city that maybe can hold 3 million people, but you got 4 million and 4 million undocumented, so 8 to 10 million people in one city. So that's why it's big but little. But a lot of people know that you got some people who grew up in LA that didn't grow up in the hood, because you got some parts of LA that don't see crime, but it's LA. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's just some areas that people don't go to. So only reason I say that, because some of these videos I see online, man, especially from the people who come from LA, a lot of these people didn't go to Manual Arts, they didn't go to Washington, they didn't go to Lockhart, Jefferson, Crenshaw. You know, a lot of these people didn't go to these schools, they didn't go to that continuation, school that everybody went to, that had to go to, a lot of these cats went to Fairfax, Redondo, the outskirts, where you remember that big LA, you had to catch the bus in front of Manual Arts, but the bus would take you to Venice High School or something like that, by the beach. So, but I say that to say this: when you hear that, it's not saying that they didn't go through the same thing we did, just to show you the outreach of all that shit. It didn't matter where you was at in LA. If you was black, you felt it, whether you stayed in the upper middle class or the lower bottom. You know what I'm saying? So imagine in the hood where the prices were very lower, where everybody came to for cheap housing. You know what I'm saying? So the shit that we seen, man, like, like Cool Daddy said, us staying here is just, man, this shit they see on TV ain't got shit on the stuff you will see with your own eyes living in LA from back in the day to the day. That's just like wherever people live at now, stuff that they see on the news nowadays. That's just like in the area I grew up in, over here by the Slauson swap meet. I didn't even know this shit was going on. They got some guy in that area going around setting fires on cars. Like, they got him on people's surveillance cameras. He going around slashing tires. And they say, yeah, it's been going on the last few days. I'm like, wow, you know, this is what they're allowing to go on. So it just make you think, man, what else is gonna go on in the time coming? You know what I'm saying? Um, but realistically, other than that, man, Mr. Charles threw us off with that. Yeah. This situation at hand though, man, like what we were talking about, man, and like I say, the kids in Colorado, the high school out there, you know, like some people are saying that, you know, the flag that flew at half staff for, you know, Mr. Kirk that was slain in Utah, but what about the, you know, the victims in Colorado? Yeah, you know, nobody is better than the next person. I don't care who you are. If you a bum or if you a billionaire, you know, like you can't purchase a soul. If I'm not, you know what I'm saying, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You like money, you can't take that money with you. So, you know, to the victims in Colorado, the high school, you know what I'm saying? Like don't think people not thinking about your families also, because we are too. We are human. You know what I'm saying? We are human. Despite what a lot of people may think about Mr. Kirk, I'm saying this from a father standpoint. I have children. Nobody wants nobody, no kid should see their father in that position. And I say this, I don't care if you know, Democrat, Republican, whatever. I'm just saying this from a father standpoint. No man want to be in that position in front of their kids. You know what I'm saying? So that was messed up. The kid was there, had to see that, or was in the vicinity of that. You know, like I say, man, it's just, this is the times we living in. It's 2025, but you know, it don't seem like it. And you got a lot of stuff in to go on. I think they just opened up the ticket sales for the World Cup. They start selling tickets or something like that via Visa only for SoFi Stadium here in Inglewood. So you got events like that finna kick off here June of 2026, if I'm not mistaken. But you got February here in California. You have the Super Bowl up in Santa Clara, which in the same month you have the NBA All-Star game in Inglewood at the Intuit Dome. Then later that year you have the World Cup. It's a lot of stuff going on that's supposed to be fun, but look what's going on in the real world.
All this money gonna come to a city that right now is in shambles.
And that just gave away $1 billion on the Powerball.
Shambles. And y'all are giving away money. But say that we in there. Make it make sense.
It don't make sense. You know what though? I got a question for you, Big LA. Cool Daddy. I got a question for you also, man. Now, they have these new regulations. You know, speaking about the CDL, because I mean, I got a text from somebody I know who's actually driving. He said that he's passing through Nevada right now. And some of the stuff I'd say, hit me up when you you know, see some out of ordinary. And he was like, at some truck stops, he got stopped and he was asked, could he read this? He said the guy said he was fluid in English and stuff, but he said it's real. Man, they had so many people pulled to the sides, you know what I'm saying, about this stuff. And he said, you know what, man, are they going to take this tactic deeper? I said, what do you mean? He said, what about when, you know, city jobs, county jobs? How many people work for cities and counties all over that you may see just as a regular person in the streets that you may run into and don't even know how to speak English, but got a city job?
Well, Trump put an executive order out. It's already done at the federal level. You understand? And they can't force states to do it. So you're going to have the sanctuary states and cities that will still try to allow it. But what they're doing, look at what they're doing. They cutting off the reason for that they come here for money. They cutting off benefits, and
Yeah,
that truck driver killing them people, brought it to their mind to cut them off from driving trucks. You understand? So slowly but surely, they're gonna make their existence hard to be here. That's what's going on. And it's gonna be things that sanctuary states and cities cannot do, especially when the Trump administration sued the state of California, sued the state of New York, and as those cases make it to the Supreme Court, they're gonna outlaw, they're gonna make it illegal to have a sanctuary city or state. And once that's done, all those people who working for the city, county, and the state who can't speak English, who not supposed to be there, who not American citizens, they all gonna go. It's really just a matter of time, and it's gonna accelerate in this coming year.
So what just off an estimate, just from your opinion, what do you think the time frame maybe of possibly seeing something like that would be?
They were starting from scratch. That's why they had to pass that so-called big beautiful bill to fund ICE and other, mainly ICE and immigration, period. They gave them, it's the largest funded organization in the United States government right now. They got damn near $1 billion worth of money. You know what I'm saying? So they setting up the infrastructure with the jails that they popping up and building, reopening and repurposing. And they getting everything in place, hiring new immigration officers and logistics. They ramping up to go on a run. So right now, you just seeing the preseason. You seeing the preliminary stages. By next year, when a lot of the infrastructure and logistics is in place, and more of those court rulings come through, giving them more and more leverage and power, they're gonna go on a full blast. So what we see right now is just the baby steps. The next 3 years, 3.5 years, they're about to go hard. And the last 3 years, they're gonna go super hard. They just trying to make it through this year. So when that money really kick in January, they could just take off. So it ain't gonna get no better.
Motherfucking deadly, boy.
It ain't gonna get better. It's only gonna get worse from here.
Yeah, well, see,
y'all eyes for real.
Well, one of the crazy things is that especially here in LA, that it's just amazing some people how they feel that the local government tends to fight, what I'm saying, for people who, let's say, call it how it is, not supposed to be here. And it's not directed towards one race of people, but just saying, it's like, damn, man, like it's been a lot of shit that went on here that you wouldn't even piss on somebody that was on fire, if that was black. But now it's like, wow, so that's what got a lot of people in an uproar right now, behind that situation. But I mean, hey, what do you call it? Are we being racist, or are we tired of being treated like shit, but only being called on when we need it?
Every country has the right to enforce its border and enforce its laws. If a country has no border, then there's no country. People could come and go as they please. And the excuse that people come here for a better life, they work hard, they got it hard in their home country, that's not a valid excuse. It's about 8 billion people on the planet Earth, about 4-5 billion of them living in poverty. So should America allow 4 billion people to move in because you got it bad? That's not realistic. But since they have not been enforcing the law in the past 30, 40 years, it looks new to people when they start enforcing a law that's been on the books. These are not new laws. These are not new tactics. They're going back to putting some structure, because these people have to be fed, housed, clothed, educated. It come at a price. America is already $37 trillion in debt. You understand me? And how? I can't go to another country and get benefits that the citizens from their country can't get. We are asked to do things that most countries in the world don't do. And it may look harsh. I'm not in control of it. I can't stop it. I'm just explaining. I'm just calling them balls and strikes. You understand? It may look harsh, but these people mean business.
Yeah, you're right, man. I tell people all the time, man. One country that I tell a lot of people to pay attention to, like, look at England. People talk about England. Just Google them and how they are towards illegal immigrants. They don't give them no kind of support. They don't give them any kind of way of survival or anything. But you know what, though, really quick, I want to show y'all this real quick. This is something Mr. Terry Anderson said years ago. And I mean, over 20 years ago, maybe if they would have listened to him, you wouldn't have been in a crisis.
That these are lawbreakers, and you're saying, well, we have to amnesty them. We can't round them all up. We don't have to round them up. Make enough effort to enforce the laws on the books. You make it where they can't educate, they can't medicate, they can't incarcerate. Make it where they can't buy a house, they can't open a business, they can't rent an apartment, and I guarantee you, they'll go home.
What do you think about that, Cool Daddy of BLA?
I don't disagree with what he said. Not one word.
And you see, a lot of people took it the wrong way. They took it as hatred. They took it as when the black community spoke out that they hated on it. No, it ain't that. It's just that shit. Y'all keep throwing us to the back burner and then want us to be there for everybody else.
Well, he looked at the trend and he played it out to its logical conclusion is where we at now. He saw the numbers rapidly elevating and he knew it would only get worse. More and more people will come. If you play it out to its logical conclusion and take your emotions out of it, we are being flooded. We're being overwhelmed. This ain't got nothing to do with somebody you love or like. It's the difference between legal immigration and illegal immigration. But oftentimes we'll tie the two together, and see it as one big group of Hispanics. No, that ain't how this shit work. So what they doing, when they flood the zone, when they flood Linwood, South LA, they want us to have empathy for them, for their plight. Did they have empathy with scooping up all them houses? Well, now a lot of black people got to leave California. Did they have empathy filling up classrooms, getting scholarships and all type of stuff? Well, black people can't have access to that. They was out for self. So you can't expect me to love somebody to my own detriment, to love myself out of existence. You understand me? And if it wasn't put to a halt, if Kamala would have won, it was game over.
Yeah, some people feel that if she was elected, that this border crisis wouldn't be solved. And some people say, oh yeah, it would. I'm like, well, I don't know. Honestly, if you're part of a legislation that just let so many people over, I don't think you're gonna stop it. So
that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it was it's not gonna happen. But I was just curious to see, like, these amount of people who were coming over, if that was their plan, to bring these people over to try to get them to somehow become citizens and vote for them. I wanted to see how was that going to happen.
Yeah, it was going to happen. They had proposals to allow them to vote on the coast, the liberal coast, New York and LA. New York was pushing a bill. I don't know if it went through. We can research that. But they were pushing the bill to allow them to vote in local elections. Yeah, so this has been a plan. They got a plan they put in motion. We just realizing the plan because we being affected negatively. But this plan been put in place 30, 40 years ago. It's just getting to a point now where we getting overwhelmed. They have a whole underground economy that support them. Whole underground services, underground housing. They had like a mirror society. You got the legal society and the illegal society going hand in hand. You understand me? They come here knowing they're gonna get a job, knowing they're gonna get housing, knowing that they're gonna get Medicaid and food stamps and all that. You can only take so much. You can only give, Christians say this, right? You can only give from the overflow. Once your cup is filled up, you give from the extra, the overflow. Well, the cup is almost empty. You can't keep giving. There are limited resources. There's a finite number of dollars, a finite number of houses, a finite number of food stamps. It can't continue.
What you mean? Hold on. What you mean? How it can't continue? Because if I have 10 properties, each property got 100 units, right? What's 10 times 100? 10,000. And they give me a grant that pays their first, last, and deposit. So you figure your average apartment, say it's a 2-bedroom in LA, well, California, period, mainly LA, 23, 24. And you paying first, last, and deposit, which is also at least half or another month's of rent. You're doing that for 10,000 units. In their mind, I'm not going to get this again, so let me do this now and get on. So another motherfucker come in and do the same shit. Imagine if they do this 2, 3, 4 times in 1 month. And ain't nobody asking no questions. Just saying.
Those programs were designed for American citizens. They are exploiting loopholes in the system, and they got people working with them. So every house that they get is a house. Let me finish. Every house that they get is a house that the American citizen cannot get. We don't have an unlimited amount of houses. There's only a certain amount of houses. So the more and more people come in, those houses get filled up. That's one of the main reasons the property is so expensive in LA, because of illegals taking houses from American citizens. It's a domino effect. Also, the government don't have unlimited money. They only collect so much from the tax base every year. They can't just keep adding people to the government roll and dishing out money. It's a system that's designed to fail if it continues.
I agree. But again, that's them thinking they can control the program. You can't control it. You just got to work the plan. They work the plan the right way, they'll be all right.
Oh man, my bad. Step away for a second, but yeah, hey, that's deep, man. Like I agree with what Milo was saying. I see what you're saying, Big LA, but like for real, man, that's just like that loophole they have in LA. Once you sign that box, say I don't have a social security card, you become gold tier. They throw you everything, and like you say, man, it's true, man. And not to hate on anybody, but I've seen that. Growing up in LA, I've seen the dad go to work and make good money. You know what I'm saying? Some was getting paid daily, $300 to $400 to $500 on a good day, $600-700 a day in the 90s. But mom's getting the government assistance and making extra money, and they were living like kings and queens. A lot of people was wondering how come some people in LA back in the 90s, especially some of the Mexicans we knew, like they was throwing big parties, speakers, food everywhere, you know, cool with everybody, feeding the people in the neighborhood, but like, damn, that shit costs a lot of money. You know, so it's like, damn, man, it's a lot of stuff you got to look at. When you look at the big picture, it's not about hatred. It's about the work that a lot of the black people have put in and are putting in. And it's not seeing no kind of, not seeing any kind of light. But you got some people who can get here in a year or two and then live way better than you in 2 years. Like, damn, some people been working 40 years of their life. Ain't it funny that, I don't know about, I'm gonna speak for California, but majority of the older people that I've seen when growing up, like, okay, now that they maybe late 60s, 70s, I'm like, damn, man, why is it that 60 to 70% of these people didn't start living a better life till they hit 55, 55, 56? I've been seeing this dude work my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that? And then you see other people's like, wait a minute. Then you get people try to fill your head. Well, it's just the black community, well, no, it's not. It's just that we don't get the help like a lot of other people get. And in LA, that's what it is. Like, let's be real. Look at the job. Some people don't even pay attention to their own workforce, their own supervision, their leadership. Why is it that, pay attention to this, even people that work at the airport, why is it that you don't have a supervisor? If you have multiple supervisors, I'm assuming you're supposed to have at least one for at least majority of what you have working there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why do you have a supervision staff of 4, but you only have 4 people of the same ethnicity? You know what I'm saying? Watch it over the majority of people who is not their ethnicity. What mentality is that? Because the supervisor is just another word for, the watching the slaves. So, you just got to really think about that, man. Like, I've always encouraged people too, when it comes to jobs, man, some of your biggest stressor in life may be your job. The job you hate going to every day. Some cats, if you gotta smoke a blunt before you go into the job and smoke a blunt as soon as you leave that job, maybe that's not the job for you. Like, let's be real. Is somebody right now who finna go to work, who working that late 1 o'clock in the morning until that 8:30 or 9 o'clock shift, who gonna take a bottle with them or some wine cooler or something because they hate that job? You know what I'm saying? Or some cat who gonna, I'm telling you, man, like you see that, you hate to say it, but you see it, man. You know what I'm saying? And so like that's why I say get your mind right, man. It's a lot of people that's been getting ahead, and this is nothing towards the Hispanic community. As you can see, look at the truck driver situation, Mr. Harjinder Singh. You know what I'm saying? Look at them guys. They've been fraud in California for the longest.
And look at what happened in Georgia at that Hyundai place, that plant. They arrested 475 South Korean illegals, right by Savannah. Savannah is one of the blackest cities in Georgia. You understand me? And you can't tell me you can't find 475 local people to work in that Hyundai plant. You got to bring over illegal immigrants to work there. We are being unemployed intentionally. You understand me? And then they call us lazy. You can't see the game. So when you support the illegal immigration, you're supporting black people not getting jobs, black people not getting housing, black people not getting services. We here, we bled to be here. Been here hundreds of years. We've been here before United States was the United States, before it was America. The infrastructure for all this wealth was literally built on our ancestors' back. And somebody who got here yesterday don't deserve more than us. I would never accept that.
I mean, and see, when you break it down like that for people to understand, because a lot of people, when they hear people talk minimally about it, first thing they think, oh, you don't like this or you don't like us or this, that. No, this is the meaning behind that. It's not from a place of hate. This ain't no shit that we think, oh, this is what we think we deserve or what we, no, hell no. How you gonna come to something that we didn't that practically built and tell us what we gonna have? Like, it shouldn't work like that. You can't go nowhere else and do that.
You know, I'm at the point now, I don't mean it in no ill way, but I just have to state the facts. They can take it how they want to take it. You understand me? The facts have to be stated. This is not right what's going on. And this is one thing that I agree with Donald Trump and those conservative Republicans on. What I say, they agree with me on this. They agree with my point of view on illegal immigration.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, man. And like I say, man, it's not an issue that, and see, this is one thing. This is what trips me out too. Like I say, a lot of the people, and it's not just black people. You got a lot of people in the Hispanic community who call themselves being woke too. But yeah, you could be woke at the moment, but are you awake to the fact of what's really going on? So when you have a lot of people out there going back and forth, especially with illegal immigration, like how they say in LA, why is the black community out there with the Hispanic community? Because like you say, for one, you don't want us out there because they gonna stop peacefully protesting with y'all and start shooting. Let's just be real. And secondly, like a lot of leaders will say, this is not our fight, you know? So let's be real. Do we share sympathy for the situation? Yeah, I'm never here to say, oh, I like them doing this. Oh, I want to see them take somebody kid from it. Nah. That's not what we're saying at all. But what we're saying is this is not an issue that just came about. As like I say, Mr. Terry Anderson, somebody I've been listening to for a long time. This is a situation he helped bring to a lot of people's attention when we didn't even know about it back in like the early 99, 2000, 98, you know? And it's a situation that he said was going to get worse. And we're in 2025. We had a president who cut a holes in gates and let anybody in. You had a terrorist come through the south border on camera and say it himself. Oh, you're gonna know who I am. Like, come on, man. Like, is that real? Like, I still, that still amazes me. I still think about that because they found out who that guy was. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find that clip and post it on the Facebook page. But that was a true story, man. That guy that I just spoke about, Harjinder Singh, the Jacksonville truck accident guy. They say he came through south of the border, 2018, illegally from south of the border. How was he able to get a damn CDL license? You know, so you got to think of it like that. Something I agree with what Cool Daddy mentioned before in one of the shows, that like a lot of these people who come over here, especially people south of the border, they were supposed to come over for the labor and stuff like that. But when you know, like you say, you catching these people in jobs and positions where they making 100 to 200,000 a year, it's like that's more than labor. That look like damn near ownership of some stuff. So my thing is, like, as black people, is we're never here to promote hate, but I will say this is like, you cannot downplay your feelings because somebody feels that, oh, you're harsh for trying to get what's owed to you. Hell no. Nah. You know what I'm saying? So if it's owed to you, if it's rightfully yours, you deserve it. If you don't want to give it to me, hey, if it's mine, honestly, it ain't taking nothing if it's yours. It was taken from you. Like what Snoop say, we need that shit back with interest.
My chips with dip, please.
With dip, man. But one thing I do want to say, man, this one video that I seen on social media, a young lady, she went on a rant, but she said, you know, one thing that the black people is fair, because a lot of people tend to fight with, especially people from the white community, over nothing. This video was about 6-7 years ago, but she said something that stuck with me, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people said it. She said that people should be lucky that we just want equality and not revenge. That was deep when she said that. I was like, wow, that's pretty deep. That is true, because the only thing you rarely hear about is us, or not just us. A lot of people, they rightfully want what's theirs. It's okay to want what you're entitled to and should have, but like some people say, that's just what we want, what's ours. You don't want us to be revengeful. Because if you need some kind of memories as fuel, I think we got over 400 years of fuel. You know what I'm saying? And it's still ongoing. And for the people that might say, oh, well, what about the black on black crime? I don't want to hear that shit. Y'all see what happened in Utah today. That was not black on black. Tragic. No, like I say, no kid should have to see that, especially of their guardian or parent. You know what I'm saying? I never thought I would have seen anything like that, especially if somebody who he has a very big voice to his political party that he's associated with. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he doesn't have a political title, if I'm not mistaken, but he has a voice.
Yeah. I want to change the subject briefly. Colorado University is coming to Texas tomorrow to play the Houston Cougars in Houston. I got 100 on Houston Cougars that they gonna beat the Buffalo and Dion behind. Anybody want to take the bet?
Wait. You said you got 100?
I got 100. I say Houston gonna beat the doo-doo out of Colorado tomorrow.
Well, you'll win money with that bet. I don't think Colorado. This ain't. I mean, I ain't really heard nothing about Colorado since Hunter and
this was last year's Colorado. If this was last year's Colorado, I'll take you up on that. I'll double down on that.
I got 100.
Last year's Colorado, I'll double down on that shit. Like, hey, I got 2 bills right now, big bro. Hey, look, when they win, I'll shoot the cash out. Don't worry about that. But this year, hey, look, what time the game start?
And
it's gonna be one of the only games tomorrow, so I think it start like 7. I'm not sure.
At night,
7 local time.
Cool. So that means I got at least till 2:00 my time, 5:00 your time to let you know. All right, cool.
Let me know. I got 100 on it.
Research. I gotta look at some numbers from this year, all that.
Okay.
Hey, cool, Dad. I want to ask you this. With Colorado, man. Where I ain't heard no noise from them. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think that hype was just the hype for the few players that they had that year? I mean, I know Dion made a lot of noise going over there, leaving from the school he left from, but it's like, do you think if his success ain't like it was previously, he gonna stick it out there, or he gonna jump and run?
Oh, he stayed to prove that he wasn't just there for his sons, but that team is they got some good players came through the transfer. They trying to find a quarterback right now. Georgia Tech whooped their behind, and they beat Delaware last week, which is a low level team. But this is gonna be a test for them this week against Houston, because Houston brought some whole bunch of top transfers in. They quarterback from Texas A&M. They got receivers from different schools, so we're gonna see.
Yeah, Houston Cougars always had a decent squad, even if they, I mean, I've seen some years where they probably wasn't top ranked, but they've always had a decent looking squad. So I mean, U of H, I've always thought that was a pretty cool school, especially with the boys playing basketball there back in the days. But yeah, man, that's gonna be a good game, man. Speaking of football, still the Houston Texans, my Texans lost, but we'll bounce back, man. I tell a lot of people the first game of the season, they lost 14-9 on the road here in LA against the Rams. Rams is, not a bad team They went to the second round of the playoffs last year.
Y'all lost to
I'm gonna tell people what the problem
We ain't
was.
gonna roll past that. We ain't gonna roll past that. That was last year. We talking about this year. Y'all lost to the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams not a bad team.
You lost to the yeah, all right. Like you ain't heard the shit I've been hearing about the ring. Yeah, okay. And you lost to the Rams. 14 and 14.
Well, we ain't gonna lose Monday.
Look.
We ain't gonna lose Monday night.
Who they playing
First
Monday
game
night?
of the I tell people don't panic. Well, you know, it's 2 games Monday Night Football. We got the first one 4:00 against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then it's a 7:00 game. I don't remember who that is, but we got the first game.
I know y'all ain't gonna be the voice of our division this year. I know that.
Oh man,
what team you roll with, Big LA?
Tennessee.
He the fake Texans.
Like I said, Tennessee. Ain't no Texan near or in our name.
Now, I like Cam Ward. I want to see him succeed. I want to see Cam Ward succeed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I tip my motherfucking hat, sir. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
I
watched him come a long way. I watched him come a long way from for no star to #1 draft pick.
That's how it go, man. That's just how it goes. We've been on for about an hour, man. Damn, it's after midnight here on the West Coast. It's after 2:22 every day. I'm hustling down south.
Yep, down here in Texas.
Yeah, man.
Well, I enjoyed being on the show with you, gentlemen, tonight. It was nice.
Indeed, it's always a pleasure, big bro.
For sure, man. But before we leave, man, why don't you hit us off, man? Go ahead, Big LA. We're gonna hit us with some news we could use.
Put it together. Get it right. They are seeing through with what they said they was gonna do. So make sure you and yours are square. Make sure y'all straight. I'm damn sure making sure mine good. And get y'all some life insurance, damn it.
Yeah.
Hey man, in the means and in betweens, man, y'all be cool, man. Don't drink and drive, smoke and fly, man. Like, share, sub up, tell a friend, tell Tim I'll do it again, man. West side at 110, you know what I'm saying? Pop up, you know what I'm saying? Some slight. Means and in between, big out like fucking truck.
Yo, what's up, man? Go ahead, Cool Daddy. Give us some news.
I'm gonna go back to what we were talking about earlier. That health is wealth. Congratulations to my friend Big LA for his journey, his large weight loss. That was a whole bunch of weight. Goddamn, I done lost about 70 pounds myself, and you feel different when you lose that weight, man. Your back stop hurting, your knees stop hurting. You know what I'm saying?
Whole lot getting changed.
TT just get on hard out the blue. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You gotta eat better though, man. I used to love hamburgers and fried chicken and French fries. I still love it. I just can't eat it like that. I ain't at 20-something years old with that shit just get out my system. It just stay. You know, so I've changed my diet. I've been doing a lot of ground turkey, a lot of vegetables, a lot of water. You know, somebody said something to me and it struck me. They say, "Do you see any old fat people?" And I was like, "No, you're right. Fat people really don't live to be old. The health ailments kick in and take them out." So I was eating myself to death. You understand? So I want to have a quality life as long as I can. Mm-hmm. And the one thing we all got complete control of is our body. So I'm trying to exercise that control. So everybody out there, if you get a message out of that, take it.
That's what's up, man, and that's true, man. I just want to piggyback off that, man. Just health is wealth, man. You know, you got to stick to it. Get in that routine. Once you get to that point to where you might miss a day and then you feel it, That's when you know your mind's in the right place, when you start actually adding exercise into your lifestyle, not just to your workout.
When your
So
muscle tone
that's
get
the
to
first
coming
step.
back, when you get to feeling certain shit, work out again. Yeah.
All that. I mean, all that. I'm talking about shit. Some people don't think it's good to sweat. Shit, go out there and bust a sweat and see how good you feel.
Trying
You
to
know.
tell you. Trying to tell you.
So yeah, man, I appreciate y'all brothers for hopping on, man. This Black Breakdown, this late hour stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Get here, get in. It's a lot of stuff going on, man. We might do it again, you know what I'm saying? But hey, you know, real talk don't end. Just take a break. I appreciate you fellas for coming through.
Indeed.
Peace. Much love.